Hey there, have you ever binged a Netflix series and suddenly started picking up English phrases without even realizing it? Or maybe you've read a Wattpad story and found yourself thinking in English for a second? That's the power of stories. Stories aren't just fun, they're legit one of the best ways to learn English. And guess what? You don't need boring grammar drills or 100 flashcard day. You just need a good story. So, in this digital journey, we're diving into how you can become better at English by living it like you're the main character. Okay, so let's break it down real quick. A narrative text is basically a story. It can be anything from fairy tales and fanfics to your grandma's good stories. What makes it a narrative is the structure. There's always beginning where we meet the characters and the setting, then boom, something goes wrong. This is the problem or conflict, and finally we reach the resolution where the problem gets solved. It's like a movie with a full storyline. In English class, this structure is super important. Not only does it help you understand stories better, but it also helps you write your own like a pro. Alright, enough theory. Let's jump into a story. Here's a short narrative called The Brave Little Fox. As you listen, try to spot the structure we just talked about. The Brave Little Fox. Once upon a time, in a forest, so quiet you could hear the leaves whisper, lived a little fox named Felix. He wasn't the fastest, or the biggest, or even the smartest, but he had one thing, a big heart. But there was a catch. Felix was scared of the dark, like terrified. Every night, when the moon rose and the owls hooted, Felix curled up in his den and hoped morning would come fast. One night, he heard something different. A tiny chirp, then another. It was a baby bird fallen from its nest, crying in the dark. Felix froze. Nope, he thought, not today. But then he looked out. The little bird needed help. There was no one else. It was now or never. So Felix stepped out, even though his heart was pounding like crazy. He tiptoed through the shadows, dodged tree roots, and followed the sound. When he finally found the baby bird, trembling and alone, something inside Felix clicked. Fear didn't matter anymore. He gently picked up the bird and, step by careful step, climbed the tall tree. By the time the sun rose, the baby bird was safe, and Felix, it wasn't just a little fox anymore. He was a legend. Okay, that was cute, but now let's break it down English style. First, the whole story was in past tense. Words like lived, heard, froze, climbed. This is super common in narrative texts because we're telling about something that already happened. Next, did you catch all the descriptive language? Stuff like quiet forest, heart pounding, moon rose. These words create vibes. They make you feel the story, not just heard it. And like stop time connectives. Words like once upon a time, one night, finally. This help you follow the timeline and make your writing flow better. Now you might be thinking, okay, cool story, but how does this help me learn English? Here's the thing. Stories help you remember way better than vocabularies. Why? Because your brain loves connections. When you read or hear a story, you're not just learning words, you're feeling them, seeing them, living them. Plus, you get to hear grammar in context, not in some robotic sentence like
She has a pencil. No, you hit it in action. Felix picked up the bird. And the more stories you listen to, the more fluent you sound. It's literally how kids learn their first language, through stories, not textbooks. Bonus, you can even level up your speaking and writing by creating your own narratives. Think of it like being the director of your own English movie. Alright, here's the challenge. Write your own story. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just have to be you. Maybe it's about your dream you had, a scary moment, a funny day at school, or make something up. Go full fantasy mode. Give your story a beginning, a conflict, and a resolution. Use those past tense verbs, throw in some dramatic descriptions, and just like that, you're not just learning English, you're using it. Remember, the best way to learn language, yes, is to live it. So go ahead, be the main character.